This is a Pyramid One International Network presentation. Hi, and welcome to Pyramid One World Radio. Let me tell you about the host coming up. His name is Maggie Clark. He's a psychic and medium, and the host of A View of Humanity. With decades of experience and a lifetime working with his natural gifts, Jamie offers powerful and accurate validations of the spiritual dimensions around us. Jamie is the host of the podcast Psychic Evolution and author of the Psychic Evolution Trading Cards, and also author of the children's book, The Adventures of Rocco and Tuki, The Kids from Mars. As a spirituals teacher, Jamie shares how to integrate the natural psychic senses with the empowerment of spiritual knowledge to help create a more fulfilling life of love, happiness, and success. But let me tell you about Maggie Clark. Maggie Clark is the co-host of the new podcast, Psychic Evolution, with Jamie Clark, author of Spiritual Coach, Healing Arts Practitioner. Maggie Clark is a respected tarotist and, or should I say, with 25 years of experience. The last 14, she was a teacher, an accomplished teacher. Maggie delights in teaching classes, workshops, and offering tarot readings and consultation, years and years of her experience. Maggie has instructed people in the ways of tarot, both in colleges and privately. Her newest development is her online tarot learning program. Let me tell you about these two. These two are, in my words, a power duo. Between the two of them, the energy and the help and the love could knock over half of the world in 2 seconds, maybe less. Let me tell you, it's unconditional love. Explained? Unconditional love is a behavior and a feeling towards someone. Jamie and Maggie have taught many techniques on how to take action. Once you achieve unconditional love, your world will change in many, many wonderful ways. Let me introduce you to the host and co-host, Jamie and Maggie Clark. Oh yeah, they are here. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody that's on the phones and right now, do me a favor, just hang out in there and they will get to you soon.
Yeah. We're gonna have some fun.
Yeah, it's great to be on.
Meanwhile, I was just typing in our chat room over here, and somebody says, "Is this open yet?"
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. What do you have to? Oh, they're probably going to say something. I don't
Oh, yeah.
Who knows?
All right, Bob.
Yeah, well, that kind of stuff happened. Hey, listen, you know what? We're in the spring right now. This is when people's minds start changing. Things start changing. The weirdest thing that I actually got from someone that I was speaking to was they say, why do I feel a little weird?
Did they follow it up with what kind of weird?
Well, they had said, like once in a while, that they get a little dizzy, or they just feel a little like not level or something, or they go to think about something and pop, it's in one side and out the other, gone.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of thing. No drugs, no nothing, no. Believe it or not, I mean, I'm a forget about it. I mean, coffee is in my veins. It's not blood. But these people were absolutely 100% water drinking normal people, and this was going on. And I said to him, I said, well, it could be, moon, sun. There's all kinds of things that are going on right now, or energy coming from the earth.
I think it's a combination. We have so many integrative energies, not only from the earth, but from, the solar flares, celestial bodies of energy, all the planets, everything that's happening right now. I've had so many people come to me and say, I feel like this is just an illusion. Like, what is actually real? And it's accompanied with this weird feeling of integration, of maybe being a little lightheaded or don't have a grounding or sure footing. And we do have a ton of planets still in Pisces. Even though we're in Taurus season, we left Aries season, we started spring, we still have Jupiter in Pisces. We still have Neptune in Pisces. Mars is still in Pisces. So when Jupiter and Mars move out at the end of this month, like in another week or two, we'll have both those planets moving out of Pisces and back into Aries. Then we'll feel like we're fueled up and fired up again. But remember, Pisces energy rules what's an illusion. It rules big energy. It rules endings. It rules all kinds of fabulous things. And so when we want to be going and moving because it's spring and ready to be active, yet we're still feeling these bodies of energy that are still in the deep ocean having a grand old time, it kind of gives us this weird paradoxical feeling of I want to move forward, yet I'm held back. I want to move forward, yet what is this energy that's still holding me in the ocean of consciousness for a moment of time? So that's part of what's going on. And then, of course, as we're expanding consciously, all of this evolution of humanity that's expanding right now, there's so many times that we have to integrate new levels of energy because our bodies are being attuned, our minds are being attuned, our hearts are being attuned, our consciousness is being attuned to new frequencies, new dimensions, new dynamics of energy. And we have to be able to hold those frequencies of energy within us, within our bodies, within our minds, within our hearts, within our spirits, so that when we move forward, we feel like, okay, I'm sure-footed. But there is a lot of transitional energy happening right now. And I think there's not just one explanation. I think it's a lot of things going on at once. And it's important just to remember that if you are feeling a little lightheaded, you got to get grounded. You got to touch the earth, hug a tree, take a bath, whatever grounds you into your body, into reality. Okay. I know it's really nice to like explore the ethers and just check out into that Piscean, Neptunian energy that is so present in our world. But at the same time, we do need some grounding energy when we get like that. The other thing that grounds people, believe it or not, is chocolate. So
Dark chocolate. Yeah.
have a piece of chocolate, touch the earth, hug a tree, get grounded, and journal. What do you feel? Where do you feel it in your body? Where do you feel it in your heart? What thoughts to accompany that? Really get in tune with that, because this is about you understanding what you're going through too, if you're experiencing these things.
I was just going to say that when you were talking about the tree, I got to warn all you people, not only the ones on the phone, but anyone that's listening right now. When you do that, make sure there's no thunderstorms in your area. But I will tell you exactly how you do it, and you'll feel it. I mean, you'll definitely feel it. If anybody doesn't feel it, you're not breathing. Let's put it that way, okay? But you take off your shoes and socks, and you step on the ground with your bare feet. And then you lay up against a tree that's about the size of your back, just about. No, don't go up against a twig. You'll bend over the tree. But the idea of the thing in that is put your arms around the tree, that backwards around your back. Put your back firmly up against the tree with bare feet, and you will feel, just relax your whole body. You'll feel a tingle usually from the middle part of your back up to your neck. And somewhere you'll feel this little like little sparks, what you would describe as being little sparks, but they're not. It's just the energy of the tree. Trees are alive.
Yes.
And by feeling the tree, now you're one with the earth at the same time. That is a place that everybody should be to at least once in their whole life.
You know, it's interesting you bring up a point that is trees are alive. And I've shared this before, but a number of Christmases ago, I used to have a live tree, and then I had another friend who had a live tree. And they went home, and I was letting them know that, you know, please put purified water in because the other water's a little toxic kind of stuff. And they were like, okay, sure, of course. And a number of days or so later, I'm sitting there watering the tree that I have in my house, and it was cut out of the ground. It wasn't in the ground. It was a Christmas tree in the holder. And in my mind sight appeared a little vibe of light that manifested, went through the ethers to the other freaking tree of my friend, and came back with the information of not using purified water. I'm like, I've never seen that before. And these were trees that were cut out of the ground, apparently, yet still alive and communicating. And so I asked the person, I was like, are you putting the purified water in? And they were like, no. That's what, you know, those who know me know I question everything. But when I had that experience.
Smack you in the head, though, if you turned around and said, well, you know, the tree told me.
Yeah, until you start getting accurate information to go, whatever you're saying, if that tree is talking, because it is. Life is always talking. Are we listening? Are we in the conversation of communication?
That's so cool. Now all we need is a couple of trees in the White House.
Maybe they're already there.
Right. We got to find the roots underground first.
Is that what they mean by dead meat? Or dead wood? One of the two. Yeah, I mean, I don't be nasty, but hey.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh boy, I tell you, let's take a phone call.
Yeah,
all right.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I got a 480 number with a 433 in the beginning. Who's on the line?
Silence.
Hello?
Hey, well, you're there. I hear you.
Can you? Okay,
JK,
this is Patty,
what are you guys
Montgomery.
doing?
Yo. Hey, JK.
Hey.
Hey,
Oh,
No,
my
wait a
sorry,
minute. Hold it. Hold
talk
My
it.
about
dog got
those
excited.
strange feelings. We're
Well, yeah.
ascending into the golden age.
All right, hold on. Both of you.
We're unifying all the channels, man.
The lady goes first.
It sounded like you guys were together in the same place.
JT, we'll get to you. Come on, man. Let's go.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
I know whenever I have a belief that I shouldn't be pushing that belief onto others because they're just going to push back harder. How do we find the balance there when we're going through all of this? And I am dizzy and off center, by the way. So yeah, let's talk about that.
First off, you don't try to change anyone's mind. If they believe what they believe, we let them believe.
Share information neutrally.
Yeah.
Neutrally. Hey, here's something to think about. Otherwise, it becomes a protective mode to go, don't tell me. And so when you can do that and just present information of their choice to even look at it in any way, if they even want to, then it's a little bit more empowering and accepting to go, I'm going to see how it feels to me. I'm not going to have you tell me what it is. It's, I want to know myself. And so a lot of people are in that capacity that when I do a reading or share information in some way, I always present it neutrally. They don't even have to listen, as I always say, but, you know, this is my perspective. And when you can do it in a, you know, in a lighter way, and like you're sharing is not feeling it's being pushed on the other person, they'll tend to be a lot more open and receptive to go, okay, so what else you got to say? Because you're not telling me that I'm a certain thing. You're sharing with me, and I get to kind of vibe it in my own way. And I got to say that with the discombobulation aspect, a lot of us have been going through that. I've been integrating quite a bit over the past week or so. And it's just like, whoa, man, it's incredible. So you're not alone.
Yeah. And I also feel like we are here to expose information or our beliefs, not impose. And that's like the fine line. The imposition is when we want other people to think the way that we think. And so we push it out there, you know. Exposing is just sharing. And so I always will ask, hey, do you want to hear my opinion? You know, or I say, hey, would you like to hear a different maybe a way of seeing something. They say yes or no. If they say yes, it's just expose it. Here it is. If they say no, I don't say it, because then it's imposing on their own personal boundaries, whatever that might be. And so finding ways to communicate in a way where you don't feel like you're being pushy, in a way that you feel like you're just sharing, that is a way to share your belief system, because everyone is very attached to their belief system because it's what creates their realities. And so to let that go, to shift that, to change that, usually involves a crisis, a change of consciousness, curiosity, like some aspect of them that wants to be engaging in that. And you can also write a letter and say, hey, I wrote you a letter. You don't have to read it, but here it is. And then you're exposing information. And we just want to be really careful with our language and conversations, that we are not being elitist. We're not being the only, one who knows what's right or wrong, or what's true or not true, because we all are living such different realities sometimes by our belief systems, and they shift and change and grow. So as we encounter people that aren't seeing eye to eye, that you think you could help, or you think that you could share a different understanding, you can get creative. You can get really creative, but usually we ask permission, or we say, hey, do you want to hear my opinion? And that usually can help. Does that help you?
Oh, absolutely. You guys, I totally agree with all of it. I just love you and bless you, and just keep doing what you're doing, guys.
Thank you. That's beautiful.
You got it. And just, I know that we have, when you're expanding consciousness, we get so excited. We want everyone to get onto the bandwagon, everyone to do it. And so the more passion we put into our communication, the more you will be heard. And just get creative on how you can do that. And hopefully, you might shed some light in those dark corners of someone's consciousness.
In addition, being able to connect with whatever it is that you're sharing, because if you're living your truth, they're looking at you as the end result to go, okay, if what you're going to share with me is going to get me more of what you're doing like that, I'm listening. But if not, that's not able to be as accepted as possible. And bringing up an interesting point is, a lot of us have taken a lot of time to develop our belief system. You start to experience these things firsthand, you'll shift your belief system to a knowing system. It's a whole different vibe, not with cockiness, confidence. And as I always share, for me, those who know me, the more that I know, right, the more I know, I don't know nothing, but I'll share my perspective.
Exactly.
Yep.
I so agree. Hey, if I can get a reading today, that would be great. I have a friend that's moving here near me who is a psychic and does Reiki, and I'm learning Reiki. And I just want to throw that out there, if I can get a reading.
Cool. Do you have any target question?
Well, I have put out into the universe that I would like to have moved to a place, which I am now in Vancouver, Washington, with like a Zen backyard, which I have set up, and I have all these old growth trees and bamboo and a spa out there and a great little patio. And I want to bring a group together and just share with each other and understand and learn more about who we are. And I want to know if I'm seeing that. Do you see that too? Possibly.
I threw down some cards, and I love this idea. The Fool almost like flew out of the deck, which is all about, it's awesome. It's all about take a risk. Okay. Just jump, right? If you have this idea of gathering community and consciousness, and in the process expanding it, oh my gosh, the Fool is jumping out of the deck right now. Also accompanied by the Ace of Wands, which means, okay, what action steps are going to make this happen? What's the fuel? I also see that it's, I would take your time getting this set up, in the sense that the Hangman says, okay, you've got to find the message. You've got to know, exactly what you want to accomplish by gathering people. Like, what's the mission of that? So those things will take time. The Hangman is definitely like, make sure you mull this over and get a clear mission, so that the people drawn to this are going to be the right people, and you can really benefit as a whole consciousness. I also feel like there's some kind of teaching energy that you want to pull in, whether it's teaching Reiki, like your friend's going to be teaching Reiki, like some kind of teaching energy. that you can pull in. And so getting that in alignment with what your mission is and then taking the action steps necessary, it's basically like, go for it. You know, you are going to be expanding into learning what it looks like to be a leader, be a builder, and to gather people. And so also on a very personal level for you, ask yourself, do you feel like a leader, right? Do you feel like a teacher? Do you feel like you want to offer something? And that's just, you don't have to answer this over this radio call, but this is something to take home with you to process, because that's the internal processing that you're going to confront or just address on some level.
You know, and you've got a great energy with that. Yeah, and
Okay.
you're bringing through the team together. So the great thing is it's lining up. Now, in addition, though, a lot of times we have the right intent, but we'll tend to live in a reactive state of experience rather than a proactive. And what I mean by that is, here's what a lot of us will do. If I have this amount of money, then I feel wealthy. And if I have this job, then I feel successful. And we'll wait for the outside physical manifestation of the job or the money to happen to feel successful and wealthy. When if you'll start vibing that way before it's anywhere in sight, remember vibrations, you get similar vibes, you send that energy out, it comes back to you as a vibrational match. And for myself, I wanted to make sure I was not manipulating other people to get what I'm looking for. But in this capacity, as I put these things to the test and realized it's co-creation, not manipulation, it became even more effective to create one, accept it is already there before it's even there. That kind of a knowingness, that kind of a vibe is what will start to emanate to other people. And as I always say for myself, what we think about and our attention to those thoughts are also what creates that personal magnetism vibe when you first meet somebody. So you're like, man, I just love your energy. I want to get to know you. They don't have to say a word. Yeah, yet you'll feel their energy. Some have a nice, good, clean energy. Others are like, how's it possible to have a dirty, greasy energy? Yeah, but they do. So it's being able to understand who is there and that we can communicate and talk with them, not just to them.
Oh, great, guys. And I have to tell you this, a retired school teacher, 30 years.
Thank you.
I don't work, and you guys have hit everything beautifully tonight. And I love you both so much. Thank you.
We love you.
Thank you
Keep up
so
the great
much.
work. Keep going. It's awesome.
Thanks. I'm going to mute.
Okay. Greasy what? Needs an oil change.
Yeah, there you go. Good. That's the point. But for me, it's not the judgment. I need to understand where that person is coming from. Otherwise, then I'm just flapping my gums.
Yeah.
I do the best I can to communicate directly as much as I'm able to. That way it's not just sauntering all the time off. It's let's get to the point. Let's be efficient, effective, and energized.
Yeah, I think that soul's down about a quart.
So it's really nice because just like what the conversation was, people are acting on it now. They're opening their spiritual essence.
That's what I said before. I mean, it's like people coming out of it. I'm anybody out there, and that I'm not being mean here. They're coming out of the closet.
Yeah, right.
I mean, literally. I mean, humanity is coming out of the closet.
And it's a little easier to accept that.
You ever notice how many people that are more talkative and more personal with other people than before? Now, I don't mean some guy in Chicago and they're doing something stupid at McDonald's. I'm talking about like just anybody. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, I parked behind this woman and she put her cart right in front of the van. And I'm like, it's like one of these things. And a woman says, "Oh, I am so sorry. It's my fault." All of a sudden, out of nowhere, she just took the cart and put it where it really belonged. I go to another place. We're talking carts here. Same shopping place. Other side. I'm Diane. The media lady. That she needed some stuff. So I said, "All right, come on, hop in the van. We'll go over and get your stuff." So we get the stuff in that over the thing, and I come over to this woman, takes this cart and parks it on the grass, on the medium in between the cars, on the grass. Okay. So I turn around to the woman. I says, "That's good, man. Maybe you take care of the weeds while you're there." The woman turns around. She goes, Oh, I just wanted to get it to the other side. Well, on the other side was the place that you put the cards, right? So she comes out of the car, gets to the card, takes the card to the thing, and thanks me on the way back.
As you ram her car with the cart.
I mean, I was like, wow, like I didn't like, I mean, people are, like I said to you, people's minds are not working on all cylinders. Let's stay with the car thing. On the other side of the whole the whole story, on the other side of that, there are people who are energized. I mean, they're on high test at all times. They're receiving things from people. Like this lady at work. She said to me, she says, "You see the lady that came in the door? That somebody had come in the door and ordered something in at the counter or something." She turns around to me. She says, "She was such a nice lady." I said, "How do you know? She didn't say anything to you." She said, "Nope, just the way she act." Now, this is somebody that personally takes nothing. Like, you know me. I'm feeling, you know what I mean? I can feel someone without them even open up a mouth or anything else. I know who you are, what you are. This woman, this girl that knew nothing about anything. She listens to the show though, but she knows nothing about anything, and she turns around. She tells me about the woman that walked in the door. So there is a door opening up somewhere in this universe that's contacting people, or they're contacting the door. One of the
And what if it's a
this is
blending of star seeds of consciousness?
yeah. I
Or
mean,
the inside job for this planet.
sure,
The
and
outside.
people that would freak out and be the worst people in the whole world are kitty cats. I'm serious. They're just like so calm, patient. If they do have something to say, they will say it, but not like they would last year.
I think more people are getting their experiences so that they're like, that was firsthand. I don't understand it, but I just experienced it. There was a gentleman many years ago called the Amazing Randy, and he was a naysayer for all the psychic mediums going, whatever,
Yep.
until, right, he's laying in his bed one night with his beautiful little kitty right in the middle of the bed, and bip, he's instantly seeing himself from up above, looking at his body going, what the? And then the cat just looks up at him and then goes right back down. He has now become a yay-sayer because I respected that, the fact to go, hey, whatever your belief system is, but once you have that experience, that firsthand, you'll have no choice but to go, I don't understand it, I just experienced it. Not
Right.
only that, his cat was able to see him. Animals are naturally open.
Right.
Everyone's a psychic medium. We just get the complexity of simplicity. We have so much going on that we don't just be. We don't just allow. And that's when you get more information, is to just receive.
Well, animals, especially calm ones, like your dog. I mean, that dog's on lewds, I swear. I mean, it's like, oh, wow.
He has several sides to his personality.
Yes, he does. He is so loving in
But I'm
every way.
serious. I mean, he's like he's on drugs. It's like, oh, man, this is so
He's very chill.
Yes, he is.
He's very chill, like his mom.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, you take dogs like that. They're so calm, and that they're open. There's nothing on their mind except you two.
And what will tend to
And
happen?
the world comes into him.
Yes. And when they can just be them at a relaxed state, it emanates to the owners or
Yeah.
others around.
Right.
Exactly. Yes.
Right. So if the dog gets up in the middle of the night and looks back and forth in the room, you better watch, because you're close to you too. UFO situation there.
Mm-hmm. And more.
Mm.
But it's the circumstance where everything has gone online now. So people have become very desensitized to communicating word.
And that might be why they want to communicate in a healthy way in the parking lot with a cart. They want to say, oh, I don't want to be that person anymore. I want to actually be nice,
Oh, I don't go to that side of the whole thing in it, because I mean, I hear it on the TV and then all the time about these people that are identifying with things. I don't know. That's not I get creeps for that.
Can you give me just a quick, like, what are they identifying as things?
Well, like for instance, they feel that they're very close to their teddy bear or something.
Oh.
They identify themselves as a teddy bear. or as
Interesting.
kitty, or they
Are those
believe
the
that
people that dress up in the fur costumes?
no, those are the furries. No, those are the ones.
Okay.
Those they go to Vegas, but they do. But
Yeah.
that's where the conference is. But you didn't know that? Oh my goodness!
We're learning every day.
Yeah, but well, that's Arizona. Who knows? But the idea of the thing is, they say that their belief is that they're going to identify with something else as something else, like the boys that are identifying themselves as girls and the girls that are identifying themselves as boys. Well, now we got the third group that identifies themselves as a laptop or a cup
Interesting.
or a rake on the lawn or a lawnmower. One guy said lawnmower. I mean, I did read that story.
And
It's I mean, if you could see, this is what gets me. If you can do something like that and believe it, convince your mind that you believe it, then why can't you believe that you are, well, for instance, I am, or love yourself? Why can't you believe in something that's instilled in you? It's not something that was sent from somewhere else. It's not something you had to look at. You were born with it.
but we can now start to see the placement, the neutrality of our experience. Go, hey, it's an animal, or it's a teddy bear, or whatever it is. So then they can put that energy in there so that it's an aware connection. And if it's possibly the teddy bear, that might be in their own, the youthfulness. I want the simplicity of life. I want the love and the acceptance, whatever it might be. A lot of times their thought process will connect with a particular object if that's the case. And in this case, people start vibing like that. Possibly the guy who was a lawnmower go, oh, you're like, oh, he's pretty to the point. And it's that kind of connection that people will start to experience. But the good thing is that at least they're willing to share their energy with whatever it is. It's not like this and I can't. It's, okay, I don't know exactly, but I'm ready for it. I want to connect with something. And so sometimes we need to connect with something outside of ourselves as we perceive it, so that it's a little distracting, and then we can tune into ourselves a little bit at a time if we even want to tune in.
I'm gonna identify with my '59 Studebaker that I bought for $30 in 1969.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
See, I mean, it's like a.
And you were like 50 back then, weren't you? No.
I was like, probably
Been around a long time.
Probably, yeah. I've been around a little bit.
But
Yeah.
here's the thing: when you were riding in that vehicle, as you're recalling it just now, how does it feel? You might be putting some of those senses that you experienced while you were there, and all you're doing is talking about it. So it starts rolling through your mindscape.
You know what's weird, and she said something in it before too that kind of connects to this. The things that we remember, the things that spark our inner self. You know what I mean? It's like I just talked about the '59 Studebaker. Where'd that come from? Ding. It was like it was a 3-speed on the column. You know what I mean? It had a seat that was broken because if you laid back on it too hard, you went like this. Wah.
And as you're talking about it, are you
So you're
possibly flipping back to the easier good old days?
No,
Or are
you
right now?
drive down the street at on a highway, like 50 miles an hour, but you're laying in the back seat. It's like, whoa. There was no such thing as a seatbelt. The only seatbelt you had was your girlfriend that would grab you around the neck and say, "What the hell are you doing?"
And if you're in the back seat, hey, you don't matter. You don't need a seat.
Right. Pizza was just an excuse to get to her house. Now it was like, hey, I mean, I'm serious. There's so many things that we grew up with are lost because people don't believe in them. I mean, I almost feel like it's like Peter Pan. Remember how you had to believe?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
And it's one of those kind of times that well, for instance, for my birthday last Wednesday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, don't.
Do you want us to sing to you?
No.
Oh, well.
You know who called? All right, I'll give you one. My drummer that I did my first gig playing. Now, don't forget, I did music. I was a singer for 39 years. That drummer, who was a girl drummer, we were actually the Carpenters, but the Carpenters made it. We didn't. One of those kind of things.
That's cool.
But she called up on my phone with a recording of Happy Birthday.
Nice.
I almost fell down. You want to talk about the things from the past. Okay? So, I mean, seriously, I mean, the older you get, if you're all there upstairs, the things that you collect, they call it that pot, you know what I mean? Whatever they call it, the bucket thing. It's not. We're walking buckets of information. The things that we've gained, the things that we've seen, the things that we've listened to, the persons that we've touched, the lives we've touched. You know what I mean? The people you've hurt or the people you've helped. All these things come all together. You know what? I tell you something. We got to do the cards in that one of these days, and we said that last time, but the thing is that the cards are probably, just fall apart. You know what I mean? I got so much wrapped in all those years. Wow.
Yeah, huh? Isn't it
Cool.
interesting that they can be unraveled through the cards? It's cards, yet it speaks loudly. Look at what's happening. Yeah, you're just recalling these memories. You're recalling a phone conversation that was a recording, yet look at how much happiness it brings you. Hey, Pip, as soon as you're thinking about it, you're right there. I've just learned to entrain whatever it is that I want, if it's happiness or fulfillment or an experience, I entrain how it feels so that I can recall it instantly. I'm lazy. I don't want to have to keep doing something. I know exactly how it feels because I'm right here. I'm not silly. Now I've entrained that so I can take it anywhere and everywhere with me.
Plus, you're open to all that energy that's just floating around. I heard my mother the other day, I mean, it just got up. Like your brain is like clear when you get up in the morning. That's why I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. If I didn't get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, my it'd be like stuffed up. But anyway, my mother was on the phone with a neighbor or a friend of hers. And the neighbor got on the phone to make a phone call. And my mother that's back when we had party phones. Like 3 or 4 people were connected to one line.
Yep.
And that's the way it was. So you had to wait for the guy before you or something to get off before you made a phone call. Otherwise you were on their line at the same time. And I remember my mother saying to the woman, she says, "Well, Dottie, I'm on the phone right now, but I swear I'll be off in 5 minutes." I remember her saying that. I mean, when you remember that had to be, and I can probably give you a pretty good date. It's about 1956 or 57.
Nice.
In that ball game.
Look at how that locks in a date, a year for you. That one emotion is
that one
locked
telephone
in.
call.
Yeah. That's what speaks to us. And that's what, again, just a little bit is depending on where we want to place our attention is what we give it to. Hey, the teddy bear, it's neutral. The kids love it. It's loving. And so it's easy enough to become that. The complexity is the computer. You want to get into that, and it goes on and on and on. But as you're sharing these beautiful experiences, I'm feeling your vibe go, you're right there now. All you're doing is recalling it, yet it's happening now. That's brilliant. That's what I'm saying is a lot of people are starting to find themselves within life, and a lot of people are being activated. Not that everyone's a star seed, but actually we are. And it needed to be an inside job. So there are a lot of star seed people waking up to go, click, I don't feel like I'm from here. Okay. And so they're starting to have to multifunction, being in this world, but not always of it. So you need to find a balance point the best that you can, if you're even interested.
And a lot of people don't understand it. You not only can travel out of body forward or to another place, you can also travel backwards. You say there's a question. You have a question like, what did I do? What did I do this or whatever? And you can get close enough to the place you were or the date or the time or whether it was the afternoon or the morning or whatever. If you can do that, I mean, I've done it. You can actually literally go back to that. I brought it up on one of the shows that we had, Ned, about sitting. I was 2. I was sitting on an Electrolux vacuum, and my mother was pulling me across the floor and the carpet on the vacuum because they didn't have wheels then. They had rails, like a sleigh.
She's probably like, suck it up.
Well, it was she's doing her vacuuming, and I'm riding on the lawnmower. I mean, not the lawnmower, on the vacuum. And I'm thinking about this whole thing, and I'm saying, God dang, I mean, it's pretty good, man. If the nerves are still firing.
That's 2 years old, man. That's an amazing memory.
I was 2.
Geez, how? That's beautiful. But you kind of bring up an interesting point for myself, and that is, as we perceive human linear time, past, present, and future, that is all happening now. And I just use it as a playful validation in a way that when I do a Zoom call, if we have John calling in from Australia, which is about 17 hours in the future as we perceive it, right? Because it's ahead of us, or Hawaii, which is a couple of hours behind us.
Okay.
Yet, when we're on that web, like the universal web, the past, present, and future are all happening now. The past can learn from the future can learn from the past, giving you the gift of living in the present. Or something like that.
God, the last call that I made was to Alaska and Hawaii at the same time. So you want to go two ways in history, or whatever?
Yeah, exactly. And to be able to take that into a more scientific way, and then, realize there's only the eternal moment, and linear time works for us because that's how we're used to doing things. Perfect. It's that type that it's always now, the moment.
Let's get JT on here and that before he shoots me.
Yeah, JK.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good,
Good.
man.
How are you?
doing?
I'm fine. I'm getting ready to start doing some podcasting here for my books. My last two
Awesome.
spiritual led books.
And what's the name of your podcast?
Well, it'd be called The Transcendent Author.
Interesting.
Oh,
Very cool.
Good one. Yeah, good one.
And what are you going to do with it?
Well, basically, I'm the lessons that I have in my books. I'm going to be doing pre-recorded sessions and help other people transform their lives, as Kelly helped me transform mine.
And are you going to be doing this with Kelly, or is this in your own way?
Now, this is my own way, but me and Kelly's been in touch, and we've been talking about it. She's helping me with these things.
Awesome. Congratulations. That's fantastic.
So it's going to be kind of fun, different. It's just pre-recorded sessions, basically a lot of reading and stuff.
What are you guys going to be reading? What
And
does that exactly mean?
What?
JT, are you going to be reading from the book?
Yeah, are you going to be reading from the book, or what do you mean by reading?
The way Kelly taught me, I'll be reading from the book. Plus, I'll throw in some other stuff inside there too. It's going to be scripted, basically.
Very cool.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
That's awesome.
Voice only.
Cool. So good audio. Let us know when you're starting to kick it in. We'd love to listen.
Well, I'll send you guys a copy of it. So
Awesome. Very cool.
But okay, so the reason people are starting to feel weird and feeling things is that we're actually mankind is actually ascending into what's called the golden age of Aquarius, and we're all going to ascend to a higher level of existence. That's why people have been feeling kind of weird, because it's slowly happening.
Yeah, there's a lot of theories about ascension, and with astrology, I do study the age of Aquarius. I've studied it since I, could breathe spirituality, and it's definitely, we're on the cusp right now. But we are in the Aquarian Age. We are pulling into the Aquarian Age even further. With that comes a shift of consciousness for humanity. This happens every 2,000 years for human consciousness, and so this ascension into the Aquarian Age is leaving behind an old Piscean age, that of, control of the hands of the few over the masses. And, it's more of the I, me into the we, us, more of the global family. And it has a lot of names. Some people call it ascension. Some people just call it the golden age. Some people refer to it as second earth. We've heard a lot of different ways of referring to it, but it is, we are definitely going through an expansion of consciousness. We've been going through this since, I would say it started in, the mid 1950s, and we'll probably there's usually a 100 cusp year period when we think about that, into about 2050 before it really takes into more of a full effect. And as we're moving forward, the old age has to undergo some kind of transformation or death experience of some kind, a letting go of some kind, so this new consciousness can be expanding. And a lot of this has been building upon all the work that's been happening from light workers since that early time of history of the 1950s, really when consciousness started expanding, when they broke out of the traditional family system, when they broke into new technology. All of that's Aquarian Age. The Aquarian Age introduces new technology, introduces cosmic consciousness. So it's a really, really fun time to be here on Earth.
Well, we're going to go into a new type of renaissance, so it's going to be really interesting coming up pretty soon here.
Absolutely, yeah.
Just for myself,
Things are change on a level that we have never experienced for a very long time, especially in the modern age.
Yeah, I don't think I think since maybe Atlantis even, right? I mean, we've really, I mean, going back into history, that was been the last recorded history that was supposed to be pretty cool and different in a consciousness expanded level. So we'll see, right? We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
What if there's a potential?
Even I've been feeling it and watching it and hearing things about it. So it's going on. And that's why people feel weird and how things are feeling more energetic. The vibes are getting higher. I mean, it's all happening here.
Yeah, absolutely. We're constantly expanding, even humanity as a whole.
Yeah, and the thing I got about that lady you guys talked to before me in Vancouver, she will be successful, by the way.
How do you know that?
I felt it. Spirit.
Oh, right. See how it communicates? All you have to do is listen.
Big time. I'm big time with the spirit recently, so it's been kind of crazy. So,
just my awareness, which is nothing, but very few people that I'm aware of even mention the fourth dimension. You're going into the fifth dimension. What if some of this recalibration that's going on now with all the different things is part of the fourth dimensional frequency connection? That we're in it and we're of it. And as we're doing that, we don't always understand it, but that's going to get us ready for the next level of vibrational patterns of energy. In this case, the fifth dimension. Right. And there are many, many, many dimensions.
Heading into the fourth, into the fourth, into the fifth.
Nice.
So we're about close to the fifth. We're about halfway through the fourth, and we're heading quickly towards the fifth.
Well, and we have to remember that dimensions aren't leveling up. It's just a shift of consciousness. And all these channels are playing all the time, all the dimensions, all the frequencies. And it's just a matter of when we individually and collectively, because human consciousness has a collective consciousness, when we're ready to experience those vibrations, those frequencies, because they're all happening right now, all the time.
You know what? It's more or less.
I agree. That's exactly right. We're all shifting, and a lot of people are afraid and are not aware of what's really going on.
For those who are out there who are older and remember these things, it's like an 8-track player switching from channel 1 to channel 2. They're all there. They're all playing. They're all going at the same time, but you're switching it from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. And that's how everything is. Just like Jamie and Maggie just said exactly the same thing. It's all going on at the same time. It never left. Energy is forever. Wherever it started, whatever started at the very, 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 very beginning is still here. We're just kind of sort of reading it as it goes through.
Well, you're talking about your memories, and people don't realize that memories are actually past energies that you collected into your body.
Bingo.
Over time. Basically, it's what your memories are. Yeah.
Of course.
So when you're taken back to an old time, well, the energy resurfaces and reminds you of the past.
Your body, I mean, maybe I'm just a natural kind of guy in it because I always liked lawns and woods and all that kind of stuff, and a hunter, the whole thing. Each person is kind of sort of like an apple tree in the fall. That's me. I'm in the fall. But what do? You want a memory, you pick off an apple. You want another one, you pick off another apple. It's in you. All those little packets of it. Just let's go into that. Every single one of those little packets of information, you never lose. From the first breathe or breath or the first cry you made, from that point was the first pack. That's one of the memories that's in your brain, in the nerves, in your body. Who knows? It could be in your foot. You never know. You got to pull it from somewhere. But the thing is, we have these things, these packs all over us. It's up to us whether we want to open them or not. When you open your browser, when you turn on your computer, it's exactly the same thing as going after a memory. You're opening up.
True.
You're opening up that packet to get that information about that particular thing that you wanted to remember. Now, how many times do we all sit around going, damn, I know what it is. I think I remember it. I can see it, but I can't say it. How many times have you heard things like that? It's only because you're looking for that packet, and that packet's elusive. It's just running around somewhere. And all of a sudden, about 2 hours later, you go
somewhere.
Yeah, about 2 hours later, and then you go, I got it. It's like for some reason your body was on search for 2 hours.
But all you did was.
The interesting thing about what you're talking about there, Bob, is that negative packets also exist, and we can suck them in like a vacuum cleaner, and they kind of ruin our lives. And that, and that's exactly what happened to me for such a long time until I transcended into something different.
And now you're a better person.
Actually, more positive than there ever have been in my entire life. You can't be more positive than this.
That's pretty good. I would. Okay, I'll chalk it up to better person. What else can I say?
Well, a better version of myself is basically what it is.
I mean, let's face it. We all can be the nicest people in the whole world, but let's face it. We can all be terrible. We can all be the terrors out there. And I mean, look, how many times? I mean, have I ever gotten mad at anybody? I can probably count them on just two hands. I mean, I got patience of a god. Awesome. I'll turn around and I'll smack myself in the face and go, don't open your mouth.
That's why people don't bother you. You're slapping the crap out of yourself. Okay.
You think Will Smith was bad? I'm worse. But the idea.
Left hook.
Yeah, right. The idea of the thing is that we're what you have become is what you were. It was hiding. You brought it out. People do that in meditation. Meditation that you're going inward to yourself at the same time.
Bring out our higher self.
Right. Exactly. And I mean, if more people, that's why I always say about the show, I really, really get unnerved in a sense when people say, I was going to go listen to the show and that the other day, but we still have our own channel on YouTube. They can go in there and they can go listen to the show. And some of them do. Some of them plug it into their car and they listen to the show and that while they're driving. I know I'm better than MSNBC. So you were going to say something, Jamie.
No, that's okay. Go ahead, JK. What else you got to share? That's really awesome.
Well, that's pretty much all I really have to share today. But I was curious about something because, according to Spirit, I was supposed to have 3 guests appear at my house. I have no idea who they are or when they're going to show up or why they're even coming.
If they got black glasses on, you better run.
Well, the only thing I know is I was supposed to house them because I have a 4-bedroom house. And I was supposed to feed them, but I'm not supposed to really interact with them all that much.
Huh.
Okay. And do you have is this a question or?
Well, yeah, it's sort of, I probably need maybe a small reading on that, Mag.
Does he have people coming into his life?
That's a very interesting dynamic when, I have heard of this happening to people where they get messages from Spirit like, hey, expect a visitor, and the visitor comes. But usually there's more information as to who, why, instead of just like open your doors and don't ask questions, I feel like there might be some more information that you can maybe gather from spirit. So first off, I'm just going to throw down some.
No, the spirit doesn't want me to know too much. Yeah. Anyway, yet.
Right. And maybe when the time gets closer, but here, 3 of Cups, man, you just got to go with the flow. If that's what you're receiving from spirit and your meditative process, and they're saying you don't need to know and you're okay with that, this is where you set up your own rules and regulations with your spirit team. And if you're okay with that, cool. Then you're just going to have to roll with it and then take action when you need to take action. And I don't really know if I can read anything else into it, because if this is the agreement that you've made with spirit that you will just follow without any type of structure around it or questioning around it, I would say you just got to roll with the flow. And that 3 of Cups really is the card of going with the flow. So I'm just going to leave it in your hands and be open for new opportunities.
Well, spirit doesn't want me to know too much more than what they told me. So
right. Then you won't. If spirit doesn't want you to know, they're not going to use me to tell you either. Just so you know,
Right.
like, that's spirit, man. When they make up their mind, they make up their minds.
Sense something or sense that's what's going to happen. You may not know who they are or what they are, but you may be able to sense that they will be coming.
Has spirit said things and then things have happened with what they've said?
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay, well, there you go. Then have complete faith and trust. Don't question anything. Just go with it, apparently, if that works for you.
Well, they told me not to question the guest, but which
I question everything. Yeah, I can't, just for me, I can't just, God bless you. You got a lot of enthusiasm with that. I can't just be a follower. I got to question everything. I have an insatiable hunger to understand. And I always say, the more I know, I don't know nothing. But if we can do this and come together, then it's a little bit easier to maybe share different perspectives without being too alienated. That, hey, okay, you're going through some stuff too, myself as well. Okay, I'm not alone. Because a lot of people start to feel alone.
Well, okay, I used to live in Red Rock, right?
Okay.
Because of my hip problem, I was living in a 2-story house. The spirit said, you go ahead and you can move anywhere between to another house in Red Rock, Marana, or Tucson. So I looked at houses. It was hard to find anything, right? So I went beyond Tucson. I went to Vail one day, looking at a house, and boy, did I have a bad feeling then. Because I went outside the boundary that the spirit wanted me to travel, and they didn't like that. Wow,
so they don't seem to have.
So now I found a perfect house in Tucson, so they knew what they were doing.
Cool.
Very nice.
Well, good luck with all your adventures.
Yeah, have fun with it. That's awesome.
All right. So what do you guys see on my podcasting?
Get going. Move it, man.
Yeah, being podcasters ourselves, this is a labor of love. I would say that, our call for podcasting is always to serve. And if that's your call, then the people that need your message are going to hear your message. And so good luck with that too. That's just amazing right there.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm basically teaching from my book, and I have Kelly involved, and me and Kelly are very close friends. So it's really kind of cool that.
And if you
what
do
happened between us,
if you do it on Zoom, you could get 100 people listening to you.
Well, I'm not ready to go that type of live yet. I'm just basically doing the educational sessions first. And eventually I may go to become a live podcaster like Kelly does on her Sunday Love Talks, whatever she calls her program there. And I've been on her radio program three times.
Great.
And are you having fun? What's going on with that?
Oh, yeah, it's fun. In fact, I was supposed to be eventually talking about my last book that I wrote, where the Spirit made me write all 3 spiritual books, by the way. And the third one, there was a reason for that. And I found out the hard way that why I was such a horribly negative person in my entire life was because of bullying in high school.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
that's a
found
rough
out,
one.
yeah, I found out through writing my third book exactly what was the cause of my problems. And there was it. I was faced with the grieving again.
Yeah.
For my entire life because it was ruined because of that.
Yeah, I find that writing books, you always are pulling from what you need to heal as well. So that's, yeah, beautiful.
Very nice.
Very cool.
They knew I needed that, and that's the reason they made me write the third book, which is called Life Before My Transformational Journey. And boy, was it revealing.
Well, you all have a nice night.
Awesome. Bobby, always good, man. Always a lot of fun.
Love you guys.
Lots of love.
And we'll be in touch.
Take care. Don't be absent a lot.
Don't be a stranger.
Yeah, get him back here.
Okay, bye.
Later. I mean, if people actually listen to him and that when he talks about what he's doing, there'll be a lot of people that are listening to that too.
I'm sure there will be. That's awesome.
Yeah, it wouldn't be bad at all. Now, you guys,
More the merrier.
let's tell the well, you guys doing podcasts and everything else. Do you have an address? Is it on Scoop? Scoop? I mean,
Oh,
what?
Yeah, same thing.
yeah. The easiest way to
Snoopy
find
stuff.
it is psychicevolution.net. But if you use Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever podcast platform you use, we're on the majority of them. And so, yeah, super easy to find. Absolutely.
And we're very honored, because we do what we love and love what we do. But we've recently we've reached over 100,000 downloads.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, it's kind of nice to be able to share and one, just to make it entertaining. If we can be entertaining and possibly informative, it's not pushed in your face. It's like, hey, here's something to think about. That's it. Nothing to force, just to share.
the best part about a podcast now, a successful one, is when it's light.
Yeah.
When you're talking to people and it's light, because I mean, I saw yours. You were laughing your brains off in one of them, because this is the way we are. We're connecting with people with the energy that we have, the happiness that we have, having to be able to talk to someone, or connect with someone, or connect with a group, or connect with the world. All these things, it not only helps people, but it helps us.
Yeah.
Big time.
I mean, seriously, don't you get away from doing a podcast or something, and you feel like $1 million for like days?
Yeah, we love our guests. We love our topics. It's fantastic. When you can do what you love, when you can really, and then, we built the podcast to really share as a part of service, like to answer questions, to help people, to share information about psychic and mediumship development. And so, it's one of those really rich experiences, not only for us, but for our audience and for our guests, because we all come together collectively for the same thing. It's beautiful.
And if anything, just to share information. That's
Yeah.
it. Just hang out for a little bit.
And have some
Make
fun.
the community. Yep.
Cool
Beautiful.
stuff.
Yeah.
So, we had a great time, and I'll be talking to you guys
Yeah.
then. I'll send you some messages and that or whatever else.
Yes,
So
sir.
And
You got my
I'll send
number.
you a birthday reading.
I got a birthday reading.
I'll do an audio record and send it to you, and you can listen to it in your spare time.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean spare time? I don't have any spare time. What are you talking about?
Well, you'll make it if you want it.
Just like you're
Or-
walking the beautiful
But
puppy.
like we started, it's not about imposing, it's exposing. So I will share it, and you either listen to it or you don't.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just something to share. The great thing is that it's neutral. So we don't claim to know anything or everything or whatever. But if possibly you might get a different perspective, sometimes from that different perspective, you see things a little bit differently. And that's it.
I know Diane, who does a lot of stuff with the guests and everything else, and that she would tell you, right? I mean, she would totally, how would you call it, plano in her way she says it. She goes, "You're an alien." So
Ha
when you do it, yeah, well, you were the one that started with she hasn't stopped. I mean, it's still, I was praying mantis.
Those are very real beings.
I know they are. I know they are. But you had said that I,
Oh yeah. Yep.
might have been somewhere somehow. My soul got screwed up with those guys.
And they're still connected.
I told you, never,
Ah.
ever, the information, the energy, and everything else from the very, 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 very first atom that did anything, period, is still here. We're still with it. It's just a big rowdy, what was this record that's going around?
Yeah. Yep.
We're on
Round
A-track.
and round we go, kind of like the world.
On that note.
Always good, Bob.
Oh, you kidding? The best.
Lots of love, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you guys for tuning in.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight you've been listening to Jamie Clark and Maggie Clark. You know what? We just had a great time with that. We had callers and everything else. That you are our number one. There is nothing more important than you. There is nothing more important than everyone. Remember one thing. I am. Love yourself. Love your family. Love everyone around you. God bless y'all. Bob Charles.